I leveled all my heirlooms up to max years ago, like long before I ever did speedrunning. I mean, if you look, I have almost every single heirloom maxed out. I don't have like some of the dumb Zuldazar ones because they're absolute garbage, and why would I ever use them? But I've maxed out almost every heirloom, and the ones that I haven't maxed out, I've at least upgraded to a certain point. It's just I don't really end up using them a whole lot. So, like, why would I upgrade the PvP heirlooms? But Man'ari Training Amulet, like, yeah, you get this up to max upgrades, and this is an amazing, amazing item for every single one of the characters you level until the end of time. I've been using this thing for years. It costs me absolutely nothing to click this button. Boom, another one's in my inventory. Like, that is just infinite value, in my opinion. So, I highly recommend investing money in getting your heirlooms up. Start off with Minari Training Amulet, and then Heirloom Ring, definitely Dread Pirate Ring, if you can get it. Then absolutely grab this one. But if you can't, then work on these. I know heirloom rings are kind of difficult, right? But they're a good investment. You technically don't need them because I believe this is like a 6-piece bonus, and there's 7 items in the set. The ring is just kind of added on. But at the bare minimum, so let's take off all of my heirlooms, and let's look at the set bonuses. So, 2 set bonus. Rested experience consumed is reduced by 30%. Now, this is extremely powerful if you are not doing speedruns. And for almost every single person, you're just gonna be trying to speed level, not speed run. And I think that's a very important distinction to make. Now, a lot of people assume that speed running is completely disconnected from speed leveling. And that's not true. And I've honestly seen a lot of people say that speed runs are supposed to be inherently faster than speed leveling because I go the extra mile, right? But what people forget is that speed leveling is just the idea of you want to get a character to max level in the most efficient amount of time possible. And that actually enables you to do a lot of really unique stuff that could actually make your overall time spent lower. So, for instance, rested experience consumed reduced by this amount. Now, for actually speedrunning, this does effectively nothing. But if you're trying to speed level, in the, like, a few days or so that I've been, like, doing other stuff instead of recording this run, I've already accumulated this much rested experience. And that's a pretty good chunk of experience. And I get basically 60% bonus rested experience just by having my heirlooms equipped. And if you know that you want to level other characters, all you need to do is get those characters, park them in a main city, and then log out. Do whatever the hell you want for the next week, come back, boom, you've already gained 2 levels. And this set bonus is absolutely just helping you. It's giving you passive just experience. But that only works if you're doing that trick, right? This also has insane benefits with monks. If you're leveling monks, you are just set with this bonus because the monk quests give you rested experience, and that basically just double dips into this bonus. It's why monks are, generally speaking, one of the fastest classes. Honestly, the 3 set and 5 set aren't important, but just getting that 2 set alone, 30% increase to your experience gained just by being AFK, logged out. So that's huge. Definitely get Man'ari Training Amulet, and I would recommend Dread Pirate Ring. Now, this is going to be a bit of a controversial opinion. The Darkmoon Fishing, or not Darkmoon Fishing Tournament, Stranglethorn Fishing Tournament is really easy to win. Obviously, I got this, but I have gotten every single reward from the Stranglethorn Fishing Tournament, and I've won it multiple times after that just because I was bored. The hard part about it is being able to show up at the exact time. It's not on the calendar anymore for some reason, but it's at, I believe, Sunday or something. And that's how you get this. It's one of the rewards, and it's not hard. I'm sure there's guides on YouTube, right? Like, if I look up on YouTube, Stranglethorn Fishing Tournament Guide, Yeah, there's multiple guides for it. Mad Season even made a guide for it. Obviously, sucks to hear that he's not playing WoW anymore. Always did like Mad Season, but yeah. So there's multiple guides for it. I think that said, so here's the issue, almost, with making a guide for the Stranglethorn Fishing Extravaganza. It's kind of like a catch-22. If you teach a lot of people how to be fast at the Stranglethorn Fishing Extravaganza, everybody's going to be fast at doing it and be really efficient. And then nobody will be able to win, because suddenly everybody will know the secret. So the reason I was able to win it is because I have my own secret spots that I found that, like, nobody else ever uses, and as a result, I was just able to really efficiently get the fish. All of this to say, that and Man'ari Training Amulet, really two good things. You can use them on literally every single character you own, and just by having them, you'll have one of your ring slots and your neck slot covered. You'll have a 10% movement speed increase, which is really, really useful while leveling, and you'll have 30% increased rested experience. That is such a good investment. Absolutely worth whatever amount of gold. If you're a new player and you want to level lots of characters, these two items, huge, huge investment. Absolutely put gold into that. You will not regret it. And as a result, I think other heirloom sets are also worth it. Now, it does get a bit pricey when you look at other stuff. So your second ring, for the record, doesn't matter. Like, I already had all of these fully upgraded years ago. You have to farm the, I think it's the shipyard to get it, which, I mean, I played during WoD. I've played, I mean, basically every expansion a shit ton, right? So if there's any niche thing like that, I'll have it. If it's useful, right? There's a lot of niche shit that's not useful, in which case I don't care. It's the reason I don't collect mounts, but something useful like that, I almost always have it. I don't have the Garrosh heirlooms because, unfortunately, I was not a very good player at the time. I played a lot of Mop, but I was a bit of a shitter back in Mop. So the only thing I have is my two-handed axe, because I did get AOTC, but I really did not know how to play anything except Death Knight back in Mop. I tried, but I was terrible. I was really fucking bad. I don't think you can get these anymore, but these are technically, like, your best trinkets. But trinkets are very much a... You don't really need them. If you want to get them, you can, but they don't benefit your set bonus. So I would say weapon is obviously a great one to have. Try to get a weapon that could apply to multiple different classes. It ultimately depends on what you want to level. So if you plan on leveling like one of every armor type, well, you're kind of fucked. But I would say try to get something that would benefit others. Like, honestly, maybe if you're trying to get heirlooms on a budget, maybe if you feel like leveling a hunter, level it as survival. And I'm not even memeing. Because survival, you can use an Agi two-hander, and an Agi two-hander can be used on monk, druid, yeah, just monk and druid. But that's still good, right? So that covers 3 classes if you level a survival, whereas, like, let's say you buy the BOE or BOA gun, that basically can only be used on hunter. But then also, for instance, let's say you're looking to level a rogue, a monk, a demon hunter, and a druid. Well, then in that case, you would want to look for what is like the one-hander that all of those could use. I believe the answer would actually be fist weapon. Brawler's Razor Claws. Now, fist weapon's also a bit tricky because you need to do the Brawler's Guild for it. But Druid's the one I'm not sure about. Can they use fist weapons? I could have sworn Druids could use fist weapons. Like, why can't they? I mean, wasn't that literally what Claws of Ursoc was? The Guardian artifact weapon. Literally, wasn't that a fist weapon? Something fucky's going on with the heirloom panel. There's no way. Because if I can use the one-hander int mace, why is the one-hander agi mace not showing up? I don't know. Something fucky's going on. I think they can use fist weapons. I think the game's lying to me. Wait, druids can't use swords, right? Since when could druids use swords? No way. No, I think that's a bug. That has to be a bug, right? I'm 99... Hold on, I need to look this up. Oh, druids wear leather armor and can wield staves, one-handed maces, two-handed maces, daggers, fist weapons, and polearms. Not swords. So some dipshit intern put a sword listed under the druid thing instead of a fist weapon. I fucking knew it. Okay. So point being, if you want like a good heirloom for all 4 of those specs, then you want to look at like what is the most efficient. So try to be efficient with your heirloom upgrades. As for whether or not to fully upgrade them, that's kind of up to you. So I'm gonna finally, after spending a ton of time by master riding, I'm still not starting the timer because I'm still basically just monologuing, right? But I'm gonna fly over here to show the heirloom upgrade prices. And one of the other reasons why I'm kind of okay with talking this much is I only recorded for about an hour already in the part 1. And this is going to be a relatively short leveling experience because I'm just going to get to like the end of Bastion, I think. And that's not going to take me too much time. So I'm kind of okay with this having like an hour of monologue, because then it'll be probably the same time as a regular video. Let's see here. So obviously base level ones, really cheap. Obviously all the way up to here, it's pretty cheap. But then 3k to 7.5k, yeah, that's a pretty significant jump. 2k to 5k, also a very significant jump. Now, I would absolutely upgrade your heirlooms up to 45. This is probably cheap enough that it's worth the investment. This does get very pricey, don't get me wrong, but it is a good investment. This is something that you absolutely should start putting all your gold towards. Right now, if you want a good tip for making gold, it is leveling alts. Level alts, get them up to 60, and do your callings every single day. Most callings take like 10 minutes to complete, and they can give you a few thousand gold, each one. So every single day, your calling will give you a large chunk of gold. That's like an insanely good passive gold making guide. The getting it up to 50. I could see how some people may not think that is worth the money. And it may not be. Now, I believe, I'm not 100% sure in this, but I'm pretty sure you still get the bonus, like the set bonus thing, even at, like, level 46, even if you don't have the level 45 thing. Not 100% sure in that. Haven't tested it, because obviously my heirlooms are all upgraded, but it's possible. It would make sense, logically. So I think as long as they're level 45, you shouldn't be losing too much power, and you also shouldn't unequip them. But it also doesn't really matter because, right, like, at that point, you're in the final stretch. Maybe if you're not upgrading them to 46, you could do something weird where you save, like, the WAD intro until last, or you save, like, a lot of really easy stuff for last, like maybe Silverpine Forest. I don't know. So you do all the hard stuff while your heirlooms are scaling, and then you do the super easy, like, zones and, like, things like WAD intro while you don't have efficiently scaling heirlooms. That's up to you if you're trying to save gold on that. Another thing that is very, 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 very expensive. 10k is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but I call it very expensive because for what you're getting, it's like, what the fuck? 10k for this is a ridiculous price. Because this is honestly worth like 1k gold, in my opinion. It really doesn't give you that much value. They're good to have. I will say, though, this is massive for the Alliance speedrun. If you want to efficiently do Alliance speedruns, like multiple, you really need to get... it's not the Azeroth campaign, but it's called To Modernize the Provisioning of Azeroth. Discover several Alliance flight points around the Eastern Kingdoms. I'm pretty sure you get both, actually. What I mean by that is you get the Alliance version for Eastern Kingdoms if you buy the Horde version for Eastern Kingdoms, but you still would need to spend 20k if you wanted both. At the moment, both Alliance and Horde do their speedruns entirely within Eastern Kingdoms. I mean, you don't really need this on Horde because Horde never uses flight points. There's no scenario in the entire speedrun where you would want to use a flight point. It helps on Alliance a lot because you can travel to Redridge really easily. And if you don't have like a skip like Dark Iron Mole Machine, or Mage teleport or something like that, it is, generally speaking, on average, a faster way to get to Loch Modan than Deep Run Tram. And one of the main reasons is you wouldn't be able to fly to Loch Modan, because even if you got Deep Run Tram, you would have to then leave Ironforge and walk all the way there. But you could just fly from Stormwind or wherever if you have this thing. So it's extremely efficient for Alliance, but this is the only theoretical flight point from Forsaken High Command to Forsaken Rearguard, which is about a minute of travel time, which is infinitely shorter than anything on Alliance. So for Horde, it doesn't matter. There's no other flight point that you're ever going to use that you don't have to unlock before you actually need it. Whew! How long did I spend talking about that? 40 minutes? Okay, Heirlooms. Yeah. Yes, it requires an investment, but for me, at this point, every time I use an Heirloom, I'm spending 0 gold on it. So, perks of investing.